Well, folks, it's been a heck of a week, hasn't it? And I say that meaning in that very intensely personal, like my personal life has been extremely, extremely difficult because I have been extremely sick and I'm not completely over it. So I hope you'll forgive me for any weirdness. But I need to talk about how how silly everything that's going on is, but it is also so consequential that you can't find any humor in the silliness, you know? Or you can't only find, I don't know. I don't know. My brother and sister-in-law are environmental scientists. You know, they got the masters in environmental science together. It's kind of cute, actually. And my brother has a job, like, working for a private company. But my sister-in-law had been doing work from home, grant application, and grant stuff with her old college professor. And now that's completely up in the air. If that gets messed up, which it looks like it might, then, that could mean that my nieces and nephew, their whole lives will change, because mom will have to go find a different job and probably won't be work from home and be as flexible as the one that she has. And it's not like she's going to be able to find something similar to what she already has because the jobs like what she has are what's in danger, right? So that's one thing. My youngest niece is, still a toddler. And she gets to play with her toys and with her mommy in the room working all day long instead of going to daycare. Think about how much less sick she gets. It's just anyway. And of course, one of the things I saw yesterday that just absolutely like tore me up was a contact of mine on social media who was a drag performer, trans, and in the military. And they've always been so proud of themselves and their place in the military and their military service, Like, not every person that's sort of lefty would be like that, but, they were proud of themselves, and their whole career is now in jeopardy. It's more than just like, it's more than just a job. Military is a lifestyle. I don't even know. I don't know. It's not like we didn't know that they wanted to do all this stuff. And it's not like we didn't know that Trump basically sees himself as the king of America now, and he can do whatever he wants, whether it's constitutional or not. But I don't know. It's so hard to actually see it happen. You thought knowing that it was coming was bad, but turns out that's not the only bad. What are you doing, Beep? Good girl. Sorry, I got dogs all around me. You just can't see them. But, I felt like I had to make this video. I needed to stand up and say, stop coming for my trans friends and family, and community members and neighbors and just any random trans people. Just stop it. Trans people are just normal ass people, okay? They really are. And it's kind of funny because people want to think that trans people are only one way or that there's some sort of like gay agenda or whatever. But, queer people are as an individual as everyone else. there's as much variation between one queer person and the next as, you know, any two random people you pick off the surface of the planet, basically. You know, I've known conservative trans people. I've known all sorts of different kinds of queer people who were definitely not lefty in any way. You know, I think we forget, because we're kind of prompted to, that the queer community is just a very, very loose affiliation. That, you know, we all have different goals, priorities, needs, and it can get really easy being like, my life is so hard and so stressful right now, and I've got so much going on, and I'm so rightfully concerned for my future and the future of the people around me that I love and care about, that you forget to support your community. And that's what I think I want to make this video be about most of all, is just talking about how important I think it is to check in with everybody. You know, I have some trans friends that I'm not like in close daily contact with. And I've just sort of been picking one at random and checking in with them on a random day. You know, not because anything in particular is going on, not because of anything going on in their life specifically, but just randomly checking in wherever I can, you know. And I haven't got to do that in the last few days because I've been so sick, but when I can, you know. When I've got the mental space to do something, even if it's small, it's something, you know. I think that it's so easy for us to forget that we do have power. It might not be a lot of power, but we do have power. And you don't really get any benefit from that power unless you try to use it for something, you know. And I would love to use any power I have to raise up the people around me, you know. I always think of that friend. I made a video about this before. I always think of that friend of mine that detransitioned because their family wouldn't support them, and they had medical issues that they couldn't take care of without family support. And because of medical issues, essentially, they were forced back in the closet. And I've seen other trans people talk about detransitioning, about going back into the closet, about staying in the closet longer than they would have expected to under different circumstances. And not just adults. I know of a little trans girl who, she's closeted right now because she lives in a kind of hostile environment. And now I don't know if she feels like she'll ever be able to transition, you know? I can't even imagine what that feels like. She has a affirming family. You know, she's comfortable with who she is. And yet she's going to have to lie and hide and pretend in order to protect her safety for however long, I don't know. Yeah, it makes me want to growl too, baby. Kimmy, you don't need to growl either. We're going to get a chorus of growlers going here if we're not careful. I don't know. It's so upsetting to me. Because, you know, people are people. Recently, when my mom was so sick and she was in the hospital for a couple of days, and I was sick, and my dad was trying to take care of us, but then, of course, he got sick too, eventually. my mom was like, we've got to do something because you can't keep up with your litter boxes. And it's true, I can't. I physically can't. And she was talking about me having to take one of my cats to a shelter or something. And I was like, what? I can't even comprehend that, And, oh, hush. And she was going to take one of them with her for the summer. He hates traveling. There's no way that would work. And so I was trying to think of any options I could come up with. And one of the things I thought of was letting the 2 younger cats become indoor-outdoor. I am so fervently opposed to indoor-outdoor cats. I don't think it's fair to the cats. I don't think it's good for the environment. It is something that I've made multiple videos about. But I am in a position where I have to make compromises. That I can't stand by my principles the way I would like to here. And so people might look at me, if we end up going with that plan, as being a hypocrite. And maybe that makes me a hypocrite. I don't know. But just don't judge people. Even if they are doing something that seems weird or hypocritical or wrong to you, you don't know what's going on in their lives that's brought them to that point. You don't know what's brought people to, decide that transitioning is the only way that they'll be able to happily live their lives. Come here, baby. Gosh darn it. This brat. Yeah. Oh, hush. Well, that's really what I want to say is I wanted to make a statement supporting the trans people in my life. I wanted to encourage anyone watching this to check in with the people in their lives, especially trans people who are feeling vulnerable right now. And I want to re-emphasize that any little support you give to your community is so invaluable right now. Even if you feel like you can't do anything at all, you really can. You need to. Everyone needs each other right now so much. So, all right, I'll give little Miss Star want some screen time because clearly she wanted to be the star of this video. Didn't you, baby? Yeah, you wanted to be the star? Well, Kimmy wants to be the star too. Yeah, Kimmy does. She's a good girl. And so is Biba. She's a good girl too. They're my baby girls. All right. Take care of yourselves, family members. Bye.